Hello viewers, it's Cynthia Michael from Screw You Reviews, bringing you a new podcast from my segment called The Super Sentai Review. And like always, I'm going to speak very loudly, very clearly, and very slowly, in case you, and very well, in case you don't understand me. Also, I'll try to do my best not to be so hard during this audio podcast recording as well, not to cause any audio feedback as well. And finally, if you're under 18, this audio podcast recording will contain your adult language. So basically, once again, if you're under 18, this audio podcast recording will contain some adult language. So anyway, with this and everything else out the way, let's get into the latest episode of Lupinranger versus Patranger, episode 44. So basically, the episode starts off when it last left off. When it last left off in the previous episode. So basically, Gates took some help from a old team member of the Patranger. They discovered that Ranger X was working as a spy for the Gingrich gang. So basically the Patrangers and the X team member Sadama was chasing down Ranger X. And on top of that, the Lupinrangers found out from Goss of the Gingrich gang that that she's a bitch, that Noah's not human. That Noah's been so basically your friend Ranger X is not human. So basically the Lupinrangers did not know that Ranger X was not human. So basically so Goss said since you guys didn't know he's not human, so basically he might be been lying to you guys. Might be lying to you guys about something. But whatever he told you, he might be lying about that as also. So basically, the Lupinranger, and the Patranger was chasing down Ranger X, to get some answers. So basically, Ranger X managed to get away from the ex Patranger teammate Sanama. So basically, it managed to hide up in the alley while it was pouring down waiting until the good sucker showed up and saying that that the Lupinrangers want to talk to you. The Lupinrangers want to talk to you. So basically, Ranger X saw the Lupinrangers and they had a gun for that Ranger X. So basically, if what Goss says is true, are you not human? So basically, he explains that he's not human in your world, but in the Gingrich world he is. So basically, he's a human from the Gingrich dimension. Turns out a long time ago, the humans used to live in peace with the Gingrich gang in the Gingrich dimension until the Gingrich gang decided to kick all the humans, start to kick all the humans out of their dimension. So basically, according to Ranger X, he was. His people used to live together with the Gingrich gang in peace until one day the Gingrich forced those humans out of the dimension. So basically, he's not human in the Lupinranger and Patranger world, but he's human in the Gingrich world. But so anyway, basically, he also explained that Mr. Austin Linton was also from the Gingrich world like us. So basically, it turns out that Austin Linton is just like Ranger X. So basically, he came from the Gingrich world as well. So basically, after explaining his whole human situation, the Lupinrangers were kind of hesitant to trust trust Ranger X. So basically, so basically they assume everything he's telling, everything that Ranger X is telling them right now might be a lie. So basically, Ranger X you say, besides never telling you guys that I'm not human, everything else was true. So basically, the Little Rangers wanted to believe him, but since he lied, since he never told them that he's not human in the human world, the Little Ranger just ignore him, and Ranger X just left. So anyway, meanwhile, so basically Patrick Pink and Patrick Green are still in disbelief that Ranger X is a gang with spy. So basically, the Patrick Pink and Patrick Green was still in disbelief that Ranger X is a gang with spy. So basically, and that's when they realized something, and that's where. And that's when there's something, after all of the events that happened to them, they realized that, certain events, that's when they realized that certain events didn't happen, like certain details didn't happen when certain events with the gang race didn't happen until certain information links, didn't happen when so basically they realized that all the leaks about how the gang rates got the information about certain details and whatnot happened before Ranger X came here. So basically they assumed that Ranger X was set up. So basically, while at the same time, Patrick Ray was in the car with Sonoma, the ex-team member. He was like, I still don't believe that Ranger X is a spy. So basically, he noticed that he told Sonoma, I noticed that back in those days you used to have a black iPod. So basically, Sonoma had a white iPod back in those days. So basically, Solomon was like, so what's the big deal about that? So basically, Solomon left the car and tried to find Ranger X, and he left his white iPod in the car with Patrick Red. So anyway, later. So basically, later, it seems like it's later that day, I think later that night, I think it was nighttime. So basically, that's when Mr. Carter showed up at the beach restaurant where the rest of the Little Rangers were. So basically, Mr. Carter explained that, me and Ranger X also comes from the gang with dimension. So basically, he explained the situation about Ranger X. So basically, it turns out that Mr. Austin took Ranger X in. So basically, Ranger X was orphan in him world. So basically, Mr. Austin took Ranger in, and he became Mr. Lipton's adopted child or some shit / assistant. So basically, Mr. Austin, kind of trusted Ranger X with the Lipton collection until one day, until the gang attacked Mr. Austin and took the Lipton collection. So basically, he was there that day, and so basically, when Jax was there that day at the aftermath when the gang took all the Lipton collection from Mr. Austin Lipton's hideout and killed Mr. Austin Lipton. So basically, Ranger X swore that he will get revenge on the gang for killing his mentor, Mr. Austin Linton. So basically, and gather all the and gather all the items that the Gangwich took, and use the power, and use the powers to get rid of the Gangwich gang once and for all. So basically, after Mr. Caldwell, explaining Ranger X situation, he left the book. He left the book. He left the book. He left the book that he always put all the listing collection items all the items that the listing rangers gather. He always put in the book. So basically, he's saying that and left them with the listing rangers. So basically, hope this will be a good gesture to for all the lies for the lies that me and Ranger X for the section that we did too. So basically, he left the book where all the current litter items were inside. It was inside the book and blah blah blah. So anyway, so basically, it seems like it's the next. So it seems like I think it's the same day. But anyway, seems like she just stopped waiting. So basically, the Patrangers, all the Patrangers caught up with Sodoma, and they realized that they realized that everything like all the leaks that happened, all the leaks that the gang got, all the information that the Gangwich gang got, happened before when that came to Japan. So basically they suspected that Sadama was a spy. So basically, it turns out that Sadama said, yes, I am the spy. But turns out that Sadama is not. Turns out that Sadama is not who he seems to be. So basically, that's when Ranger X showed up and revealed that Sadama is a Gangwich monster in disguise. So basically, turns out that the Gangwich monster who was the Gangwich monster who was posted as Sadama was the one who set up Ranger X as a spy for the Gangwich gang. So basically, that's when Patranger said that so basically you've been a spy this whole time, or you've been spying us for this whole time. So basically, that's when the Gangwich monster said, oh no, actually, no. So basically, actually, no, I haven't been spying on you guys. Posting that something about this whole time while we were teenagers. So basically, it's like I took the phone of your friend Sadama. So basically, Patranger asked, so where's the real Sadama? So basically, the Gangwich monster is like, I don't know what happened to the real Sadama, but I think he might be dead. So basically, after hearing that, the Patrangers went nuts or were very pissed off at the Gangwich monsters answer. So basically, turns out that this Gangwich monster had two body sets on his body. So basically, one set had a lift item that discussion so basically, he had two body sets on him, and with two lifted items. One lifted item gave him the ability to control people, any part of a person's body part. So basically, when Ranger X spied on the Patrangers and the fake Sadama in the warehouse, that was the fake Sadama using his lifted item on Ranger X spying on the Patrangers. Now the other the other listener item gave the fake son-in-law the ability to disguise his voice as the real son-in-law. So anyway, so after the fighting went down, the Patrangers along with Winter X, morphed up and started to battle the fake son-in-law, the gangwich monster who was a fake son-in-law. So basically, the Patrangers had up here until the Gators Monster used his lister item to control the Patrangers, and that's when the lister rangers showed up and gave hand and stole the lister item from his two body shapes, and the Patrangers used the power. The Patrangers along with Roger X used their third commander powers together, and basically destroyed the Gateway monster who was posted as a fake Sadama. So basically, Goss showed up, use her liquid item to make the Gateway monster grow, and the Patranger used summon the Pat Kaiser Megazord, summon the Pat Kaiser Silent Megazord, and resurrected some of his Emperor X Megazord, and took down the fake Solomon. Took down the Gateway monster who was posing as Solomon. And now, what they did, Zamigo was watched the whole fight. It turns out the Gateway monster who was posing as a fake Solomon was working for Zamigo this whole time. So basically, that's why Zamigo was like, oh damn, he was a good pitcher too. So basically, it turns out that the gang responsible who was posing as a fake Sanama was working for Zombigo this whole time. So anyway, it got dark. So basically, it got darker. So basically, it became nighttime, and the Pathwayers swore to figure. So basically, the Pathwayers swore to figure out what happened to their former teammate. Figure out what happened to their former teammate, if he's alive or not. So basically, Pathway and the rest of the Pathwayers swore to figure out if their former teammates, the Will Shotner, is alive or not. Anyway, meanwhile, back at the bistro restaurant, the Patrangers, the lister rangers were putting all the lister items that they got from collected today and put it in the book. So basically, so basically, the lister rangers, were said to Ranger X that we will help you and Mr. Caldwell, get what to start to help you guys out with your whole game with problem. So basically, they swore to help out Ranger X and Mr. Caldwell to defeat the Gangwitch, and also bring back their loved ones. So anyway, so basically, so the episode ended with promising Ranger X that we will help you with your help you get away, get rid of the Gangwitch once and for all. So basically, that's how the episode ended with the literary just promising Ranger X that we will help you and your people and Mr. Kagura to get rid of the Gangwitch once and for all. So anyway, that's how the episode ended. So anyway, I don't know. So basically, next week is supposed to be the Christmas episode. So basically, I'll probably do that on a Wednesday, because since next week is Christmas Eve. So basically, I most started. It will probably. So basically, I probably will do that late next week. So next week episode, Lister Rangers versus Patrangers. I probably will be doing that episode on a Wednesday. after Christmas. So basically, like, next week's episode of Patranger versus on the Patranger versus Lupinranger, I'll probably do that after Christmas. So basically, I have 100 weeks planned. So basically, next week's episode of Lupinranger versus Patrangers, I'll probably do that review on that episode after Christmas. So anyway, just to let you guys know. So anyway, just to let you guys know, I'll probably do that episode after Christmas. So do that review on that episode after Christmas. So anyway, like always, make sure you guys all a happy holidays. So anyway, this is Sincere Michael signing off. One.